came to this realization, familiar to all true masters of the arts, I began to keep notes on my discoveries. For the past decade, Zen in the martial arts has been the great story over my horizon, the book I most wanted to write. But there was always another master to study with, or another discipline to learn before I felt I was prepared. This is not a book, however, for the reader who wishes to master Zen, for the concepts central to that tradition are certainly not acquired from the written word. Nor is this a book for those who expect to learn how to perform the amazing feats of martial artists who break boards and bricks with their bare hands and easily defeat several opponents at a time. The reader interested only in learning about the physical aspects of the martial arts can adventure alone in the literature without my guidance. Instead, this is a book from which readers may learn to apply the principles of Zen, as reflected in the martial arts, to their lives, and thus open up a potential source of inner strength they may never have dreamt they possessed. My own involvement with the martial arts began in 1952, when I was a Hollywood columnist for the New York Herald Tribune. I was sedentary, overweight, restless, easily bored, and constantly seeking new adventures. I had no clear awareness of who I was, or where my life or my career was going. To make matters worse, I was anxious, intimidated by authority, insecure, and hostile to compensate for my insecurity. Every day I interviewed film stars, many of whom were younger than I. Because I often resented their success, my interview technique was to needle them until they responded with something quotable. One day, Bronislaw Kaper, the Academy Award-winning film composer, recognized my technique for exactly what it was and suggested I study karate. The exercise might help you slim down and allow you to work off some of your hostilities, he suggested. At that time, karate was new on the Hollywood scene and was viewed merely as an exotic Asian way of fighting. Such concepts as consciousness raising, taking control of one's life, and heightened self-awareness were as yet unheard of. Only recently have we come to understand the relationship between sports and personal or spiritual growth. When Kaper arranged for my first lesson with karate master Ed Parker, I accepted with the thought that, even if I learned nothing, I would still gather enough material for several newspaper columns, since a handful of stars, including Elvis Presley, were then studying with Parker. In those days, Parker was teaching Kempo karate, an American form of Chinese boxing, in the weight room of a Beverly Hills health club. At our first meeting, he told me, "I'm not going to show you my art. I am going to share it with you. If I show it to you, it becomes an exhibition, and in time it will be pushed so far into the back of your mind that it will be lost. But by sharing it with you, you will not only retain it forever, but I too will improve." I soon learned that the concept of the teacher learning from the lesson is basic to all good martial arts instruction. For this reason, perhaps, the practice hall, dojo, Japanese, dojan, Korean, kwun, Chinese, where martial arts is studied, is traditionally called the place of enlightenment. A dojo is a miniature cosmos where we make contact with ourselves, our fears, anxieties, reactions, and habits. It is an arena of confined conflict where we confront an opponent who is not an opponent, but rather a partner, engaged in helping us understand ourselves more fully. It is a place where we can learn a great deal in a short time about who we are and how we react in the world. The conflicts that take place inside the dojo help us handle conflicts that take place outside. The total concentration and discipline required to study martial arts carries over to daily life. The activity in the dojo calls on us to constantly attempt new things, so it is also a source of learning. In Zen terminology, a source of self-enlightenment. There is a Buddhist saying that any place can be a dojo.